Welcome to the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. My name is Rita Perez. Hello. I've been a travel advisor for over 10 years and am navigating this winding road of entrepreneurship with you. I created this podcast because I wanted to share all the things I've learned from leaders both in and out of our industry that I really wish I would have known way back then. But alas, the important thing is I'm aware of them now, and I want you to be too. Ready for this week's show? Let's jump in. Hello, travel entrepreneurs. Welcome to this week's podcast featuring yours truly, Rita and Perez. Hello, everyone. This week's topic is coffee chats. Something that I wish was more prevalent. I feel like it's probably only become a thing, at least in the virtual online world, in the past couple of years, but we don't really talk about it that much in the travel industry as much as it's talked about in other online spaces and online settings. Some of you may know what a coffee chat is, and I'm pretty sure I've talked about coffee chats either here or through presentations that I've done in prep for Wave Week. But you know, I am a huge proponent of relationship marketing. And one of the ways that you can create a relationship is by hosting virtual coffee chats. You can, of course, do these in person as well. I'm just one of those people that does virtual coffee chats. And I actually call my coffee chats not so coffee chats because I am not a coffee drinker. So what are coffee chats? I would say that the purpose of a coffee chat, so coffee chats really shouldn't be more than 30 minutes, especially if it's a virtual thing. They shouldn't be 30 minutes. It really should be enough time to be able to drink a cup of coffee or a tea or whatever drink it is whatever beverage of choice it is that you want to partake in. It is really time where you're able to meet either another fellow business owner, a potential referral partner, or a potential ideal client and really get to know each other. The purpose of the coffee chat is to create a relationship or to further a relationship / maintain a relationship. So maybe you've had a coffee chat with somebody before and you haven't talked to them and just want to get an update on what's going on with them, their life, or within their business. You can also schedule a coffee chat to catch up. But a coffee chat really is a conversation. It is not a pitch. Not a pitch. And I would say that it depends on the tone of the conversation that you're having. I wouldn't necessarily say that you could pitch something at the end, but maybe open the conversation, the sales conversation, to be like, well, whenever you're interested on taking that trip to Ireland, just feel free to reach out to me. You have my contact information. I'd love to help you out with that, or however it is your call to action would be. But this is not, a coffee chat is not the place to be like, yeah, you want to work with me? You should work with me because I'm super amazing at what I do. A coffee chat is almost like a first date is how I would kind of pinpoint it if you have not done coffee chats before. And the purpose of a first date really is to figure out, do you want to keep dating this person? Do you want to keep this person in your life? Or you're kind of like, no, I could do without this person. So when you are having a coffee chat with a person, do you want to work with them? Are they matching your vibe that you're like, man, I would really either love to work with them or refer them out to so-and-so that I just met recently because they were looking for something that this person offers? Because that's the other thing, is that coffee chats aren't necessarily for you to have business, you personally have your business enhanced by it, but coffee chats are really to enhance your network, grow the collection of people that you have within your network, grow your assets because people are assets. Last week I was talking about one of the reasons that you're not making money within your travel business is that you're not talking to enough people. And this is what coffee chatting helps with, is that not only are you meeting new people, but once you have established the relationship with other people, you are now open to their own network, because the structure of a coffee chat, if you're doing it correctly, allows for that openness in your network. So if we're kind of like breaking down a coffee chat, this really is a two-way dialogue. And if you are noticing that you are speaking too much or too much about like yourself, what you do in your business, it is up to you to make the decision, to make the choice that this is a two-way street. There should be two people having a conversation about what each person does. So if you're kind of like taking over it, be like, okay, so please tell me more about yourself and your business and what you do and the people that you help. That actually happened to me when I was the day of me recording this episode. That happened to me earlier, is that the person I was on a coffee chat like was so intrigued by what I did, had so many questions for me, that I knew, like looking at the time, we were already 15 minutes into the 30-minute coffee chat, and I had not found out anything about her. So I had to kind of, in a very smooth way, be like, all right, yeah, this is all I do, but I would love to learn more. Like, what is it that you do? Are you a coach? Like, what do you do in the coaching space? And that is what the conversation really is about, getting to know another individual, what they do. Maybe it's what they do within a business. Maybe it's what they do within a community or in an organization. Figuring out what they do, who they serve, and then trying to figure out how you can support each other. And that can be by asking the question, how can I support you? And I know when people started asking me that a couple years ago, I was like, whoa, this is a weird question, because I had never been in that type of environment where I felt supported or where people cared enough about my needs. And I think the more that I got into that kind of environment, the more I see how beneficial it is for me, and the more clearly I am able to speak on the needs that I have within my business and the support that I need. So if it is, I really need to work with a business coach that specializes in sales, that person might know somebody that they might be able to refer you and make a connection. Maybe it's that you need more clients and you're like, I'm really trying to work with male business owners who love golfing on the weekends. Maybe that person happens to know, oh, well, I golf all the time at this club. You should come out with us. Maybe that's what the connection, like, you just never know. It's not, and that's why I say it's not necessarily about business immediate, but it is about what can be cultivated from this relationship. And people know that business is going to come up, but that's why I'm saying, like, this is not a pitch. It's really two people getting to know each other and what the other person can do for the other person. But saying that, when you are going into a coffee chat, do not expect anything in return. I want you going in there really with the intention to get to know another human being and what are some of the things they love to do for fun, as well as some of the more professional things that it is, because we're whole human beings. This is not just about worky work. This is being able to find connection and common ground through some sort of commonality. So this is not, I never go really into, I hope that there's something that I can get, whether it's a speaking opportunity, a platform, a connection to somebody, but at the very, very least of a coffee chat, the most that I could hope for really is that I've just made an amazing new business colleague, somebody amazing to add to my network. Even better would be if I could call them a friend, because we've connected on such an intimate level. But if I can create some sort of connection and relationship that I actually care, and 6 months down the line, I can be like, hey, I haven't talked to Mike in a while. I really need to check up on him. Those are the beautiful connections that can come out of doing virtual or in-person coffee chats. And not only that, like even the follow-up, because I say, like if we're thinking about the MCC method, the Meet, Connect, Convert method, coffee chat, we have obviously met them through somewhere and we're connecting via a coffee chat. So where are you meeting these people? Have you like paid to attend a workshop and you just really like somebody's, like the coffee chat I had earlier today, she's like, I just really loved your energy and I wanted to get to know you a little bit better. How flippin' sweet of a note was that? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, sometimes being in this virtual business world, it is really hard to connect with other people and really feel like, does anybody out there like me? So to hear that, it was so super sweet. But really, like, you're expecting nothing in return other than creating a relationship. And if the relationship blossoms, it is beautiful. And you want to keep connecting and reconnecting with them and checking up on them because that shows like you're vested in the relationship. It also is a refresher. Maybe if you haven't talked to somebody in a year, in 6 months, you reaching out to them to connect again over a coffee chat is the, like the waving arms, like, I'm still in business, I'm still doing this, or, hey, I wanted to update you, I'm kind of like pivoting, I'm going to this way, or actually, I'm closing this business down and I'm starting this business, whatever it is. It really is about creating the relationships, and I will stand on that. Business really is built on relationships, and the more relationships that you have, the more people that you know, the farther that you will go within your business. So kind of like how do coffee chats happen? And so how did the coffee chat I had earlier happen? I attended a free event that was hosted by 2 business coaches. One is a business coach that like focuses on goals and things like that, like creating goals within your business. And the other one focuses on finances. And each person at this virtual event, it was probably like 20 people max, got to do a little speaking. So that's what I love about these types of things. And we were able to put our contact information in the chat. So people could follow us or connect with us on LinkedIn, or we could email each other, whatnot. So this person actually reached out to me, connected with me on LinkedIn and said, hey, I'm like really interested in getting to know you. Can we schedule a coffee chat? And I said, of course, because it's very rare for me to not want to do a coffee chat with someone. Because again, like I just know the value that there is in relationships and the value that there is, if at the very least, if I don't vibe with somebody on a coffee chat, I at least have had the experience and have been able to almost like test my skills and fine tune my skills, my relationship building skills out, my public speaking skills out, is the very least. If the relationship doesn't go any further, you're kind of like, I don't want to do business with this person. You at least have had that experience of having the coffee chat, knowing what you can improve on next time, and kind of like knowing the direction that you want to do moving forward. So I have a calendar scheduler. I use Calendly. I know some other people use Acuity. You can also just do like a Google Calendar, but I sent that person the link. They scheduled some time, and I have my Calendly link is already integrated with my Zoom account. So when a appointment is set in Calendly, the appointment goes onto my calendar, but a Zoom link is also created because all of that is integrated. Then when it's time to go ahead and have the coffee chat, we both get on, do some brief introductions. Like maybe you might want to start with like, hey, how was your day? Or what's the biggest thing? I love Jackie Roby. She always like comes to me with something like super meaningful. And she has asked me recently, what recently is bringing you joy in life? And so come at like with some sort of conversation starter that's more than a like, hey, how are you doing? Especially if you want to form meaningful conversations with the people that you are hosting coffee chats with. From there, typically somebody will take the lead on starting the conversation. So like today, the business coach that I was talking to was like super intrigued how I got into the travel industry and started my travel business. So she was asking me a lot of those, like the foundational questions of how I started this. And there was so much conversation on that because I could gush about like my starter story because I think it's so unique over and over again and after having so many different coffee chat conversations and knowing that I want to keep within the boundary of time that we have, that this conversation needs to end because there are other things that I need to do because I'm focused on generating revenue within my business. So I have to keep to that time. That it is a priority for me also to get to know the other person, but also let them have the stage for a little bit because people just feel special when you give them the stage, when you give them a microphone to kind of like take it away and share their story. Just as excited as I was to share what I did, I know she was super excited to share her story with me as well. It doesn't matter if I am in tune with her story or if like I see myself getting something out of this relationship. It's really about making the other person also feel special, finding some sort of common ground and connecting. So she had a couple questions for me because I have the 2 podcasts at the end of her talking about her business a little bit. And so the question never came up, how can I support you? But because I've done so many coffee chats, I already know she wants to get deeper in the podcasting world. I know 2 podcasting experts, one who teaches you how to monetize your podcast and the other who teaches you how to be a guest on podcasts. And the person that I was having a coffee chat with expressed interest in both means in the podcasting world. So I offered to make connection emails with those 2 people that I know and this person with I know, like, I mean, I say now I don't think I'll get anything in return, but that wasn't the purpose. The purpose of that was to help this other person grow because that's what this is. This is a selfless transaction. On top of that, the people that I'm referring, it helps their business out as well. You never know, like maybe this person that I have a coffee chat with will eventually become clients of those 2 people. And that brings me good juju that I've helped somebody else have some sort of good business transaction. But that's really what this is. Like the more people that you talk to and connect with, the more people you will also have in your bank so that you're able to make these referrals and connections with other people. But you can't do that if you're not having these types of conversations. So maybe in the moment that you're having a conversation, it might not appear now some sort of referral, but that person may a month, 2 months, 6 months down the line may connect with somebody who has been wanting to plan a sports trip to Saudi Arabia, and I'm just throwing something out there, and they remember that they connected with somebody a couple months ago and say, actually, funny enough, like this person does it. Here, let me give you the information. So it's always, you never know what's going to come out of a coffee chat. You should do them consistently. At the very least, it will help you get more comfortable with getting out there, networking with new people. At the very most, you have now a new referral partner, a business buddy, and potential client somewhere down the line. So let me know what questions you may have about hosting coffee chats. Hit me up over in the Facebook group for the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur Podcast. And I hope that this was pretty helpful, at least in letting you know what coffee chats really are all about, how you can execute them properly. And yeah, that's it for me. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining me on the Strategic Travel Entrepreneur. Please subscribe and leave the show a rating on your favorite podcast platform. Oh, and don't forget to take a look at the show notes for important information and links. See you next week.